Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the News and News.com Day in Brief on Thursday, March 21st at about 8 p.m. President Trump has aggressively attacked Hillary Clinton's use of personal email accounts for government business, leading to the all-too-familiar chance of lock her up at his rallies. Now, lawyers for his daughter and son-in-law acknowledge that Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner have used personal email for White House business. Kushner has also used WhatsApp to communicate with foreign leaders, but his attorney says that Kushner has not violated the law because he has preserved the exchanges. It's bad enough if they haven't followed the rules, but it is fully mind-boggling in the context of the president's ridiculing of Clinton. The House Oversight Committee is demanding documents related to an investigation into whether laws have been violated. Trump thrilled Israeli leaders today by overturning a policy of impartiality in the conflict over the Golan Heights. Trump tweeted that, quote, "It is time for the United States to fully recognize Israel's sovereignty there." Israel captured the Golan Heights from Syria during the Six-Day War in 1967. Syria had used its dominant positions in the area to fire artillery shells into Israel, and Israel has maintained it has the right to retain the territory for its safety. However, the United Nations has condemned Israel's jurisdiction, saying it's inadmissible to acquire territory through war. Trump's tweet added that the Golan Heights are critical for Israel's security. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu celebrated the move, accusing Iran of seeking to use Syria as a platform to destroy Israel. This all comes as Secretary of State Pompeo is ending a visit to the important American ally. The timing of the visit and the change in policy on the Golan Heights are seen as fairly transparent attempts to boost Netanyahu's re-election campaign. The longtime Israeli leader is facing 3 indictments for corruption. British Prime Minister Theresa May can't seem to get anyone to approve anything she wants. In her defense, she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Parliament refuses to accept her deals with the EU, while not really offering any alternatives. May spoke as a supplicant at the EU summit in Brussels today, begging the EU for an extension of the March 29 deadline for Britain to exit the Union. She wanted an extension until June 30, but the EU has offered her 2 options. First, if Parliament okays the deal, don't hold your breath, it can delay Brexit until May 22nd. If it doesn't, the delay offered will only last until April 12th. A petition to cancel Brexit altogether crashed a British government website today. Almost 1 million people have already signed, but that's still a fraction of those who voted for Brexit. UK cabinet members reportedly now believe there is a real chance of a no-deal Brexit, which most business and political leaders think would be catastrophic economically. The ripples from it could be a major blow to an already weakening world economy. Even before the Ethiopia Airlines crash of a Boeing 737 MAX, the Justice Department and the FBI had launched a criminal investigation into the airplane manufacturer. It began after the October Lion Air crash in Indonesia of a similar plane. It is believed to be focusing on the development of the 737 MAX, safety and certification procedures, including training manuals. A report today claims the pilot of the doomed Ethiopia flight hadn't practiced on a simulator for the new 737 MAX, and that Boeing didn't even send manuals to Ethiopia Airlines on the system believed at fault in both crashes. The crash jets also reportedly didn't have a safety feature that could have prevented the crashes because Boeing charged extra for it. The company has now announced it will no longer do so. The Department of Transportation is also investigating Boeing, and the Senate Committee on Aviation will hold a hearing next week on federal oversight of commercial aviation. Meanwhile, the Pentagon's Inspector General confirmed it has launched a probe into whether Acting Secretary of Defense Patrick Shanahan violated any ethics rules by promoting his former employer, Boeing. Just when we thought Joe Biden candidacy for president was a sure thing, CNBC is reporting that skeptical Democratic donors have told the former vice president that they will not raise money for him, at least at the beginning of the campaign. Biden was reportedly hoping to follow up an official campaign launch with big fundraising numbers, comparable to those of Beto O'Rourke and Bernie Sanders. It's not clear how big of a blow this will be. Missouri's governor has declared a state of emergency as the catastrophic flooding in the Midwest makes its way downstream. Floods are likely to continue well into April as more communities on the Mississippi, Missouri, and Ohio rivers face nature's wrath. A bomb cyclone dropped heavy rain, and a massive snowmelt that followed overwhelmed waterways. Thousands of homes and businesses were damaged or lost in Nebraska and Iowa, with damages in Nebraska alone estimated to reach $1.3 billion. Whole towns have now been evacuated in Missouri, and flooding will continue over a large portion of the upper Mississippi Valley, Corn Belt, and parts of the Central Plains. This afternoon, the Pentagon refused to acknowledge the full defeat of ISIS in Syria, even though President Trump said yesterday that there would be nothing left of the terror group's so-called caliphate by Wednesday night. U.S.-backed forces had seized all but a sliver of land still held by ISIS in Syria, but today, the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces denied the fight is over, saying the information of the liberation of the village is unfounded. Trump again slammed late Senator John McCain today, saying the war hero was horrible for voting against repealing Obamacare and accusing him of having very evil purposes when he turned over the infamous dossier on Trump to the FBI. Trump made the new comments despite the fact that Republican leaders on Capitol Hill and veterans groups are increasingly upset about the McCain bashing. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced her government will ban all military-style automatic weapons, assault rifles, and high-capacity magazines after the massacres at the mosques in Christchurch. She said, quote, "The time for the mass availability of these weapons must end." Finally, telecommunications company Rocket has just introduced new mobile phones with unusual original features. The phones cost much less than comparable competitors, have glasses-free 3D capabilities, and are paired with a series of life services, including family, telemedicine, and legal counsel. It's especially exciting for us at newsandnews.com because we are partnering with Rocket to bring you Rocket News in an app on their new phones. We hope it will lead to exciting improvements in our news product. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. Please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and follow me on Twitter at AMoraTV. I'll see you again tomorrow.